everybody, Norm over here, and I've got one of my best friends in the world, the guy who is one of the assistant director I've seen on some stuff too.
The Voice and
yeah, a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, for many years. Peter's brother Jeff is big shot, did all these music
Oscars.
award shows, the Oscars, the American Music Awards. Jeff Margolis, great guy, and so Peter is a friend for many, many years, and Peter, and I'm saying this with love, is about the most anal guy I know for getting things right, and he did this book. This thing weighs
with
6
Brian
pounds.
Ranks.
With Brian Ranks, who's a buddy of mine who was a road manager for so many bands, REO and who else?
Pat Benatar for a long time. He was mostly a guitar tech. He took care of Spider stuff. He was with REO for a long time. He was with Styx, Michael Bolton, Janet Jackson. So he's been around a long time.
Yeah. So these two guys, it's like our documentary, Devin Dillmore is another guy who's like super, super anal about getting everything right. Jen too, Jen does a great job, but you don't do this for the money, you do it for the love. This is a Marshall book. It's called Collecting Loud History. This thing is so incredibly good. Now this is the prototype.
Correct.
This is a soft cover, but the hardcover is going to be coming out.
Right, correct.
You don't even have delivery on those yet, right?
No, this was introduced at the NAMM show last week. We just printed 5 of them, and we got them literally the day before the NAMM show. We have a website, collectingloudhistory.com. We're filling up our guest list, and then we're going to send everybody an email how to order it, and then we'll go to print with it. And we're probably going to do a print run of like 1,500 to start with, and then
Cool.
see what happens.
Well, this is pretty definitive. Here, why don't you hold this up and show some of the pictures, the photographs and the artwork and the layouts. I mean, Peter's like one of these guys who everything just has to be just right, and he's bought a lot of this stuff through us and through other people, and it is so complete.
Yeah, there's a number of amplifiers in here that have come from this store.
That's right.
In your back room there when you would let me in. And I cataloged every one. It's done by year. Starts in 1964, it ends in 1980. And this is basically a book about collecting. It's not the history of Marshall per se, but it's about, me hunting them down all over the world.
Yeah.
And what it went through to find these pieces.
And so many colored ones too, colored Marshalls are, it's like hen's teeth. I mean, you don't see many of them.
It was much easier in the 80s and 90s to find things like that.
Purple?
It's very difficult now. Everybody hoards them. And but yeah, this is sort of my life's work. Wrapped up in 600 color glossy pages.
Yeah, and I will say this, but I'm not going to get into the whole story of this. He did a movie and a book on
Randy Rhoads.
Randy Rhoads, and he did. It was equally insanely good, and unfortunately, it never came out because there was some legal things that happened, and
well,
we don't necessarily want to talk about it. I don't want you to get
no,
in trouble.
I won't. The book came out, and it's now impossible to find. We ran 2,500 of them. The movie never came out; it was shelved.
I saw it. I went to the premiere.
Yeah, and unfortunately, things happen, and that one didn't make it. But this one will make it.
This one, yes, and I'll tell you, maybe someday somebody will regain consciousness and want that movie out because it's a great movie.
I forgot you were at the one showing of that.
That's right. It was terrific, and then all of a sudden, lawsuits and stuff, and just kind of went away.
It was a mess, but
nobody would spend the amount of time in the photography, the layout, and just the little nuances of everything that Peter does. And I knew as soon as I heard about the book, I knew what it was going to be like. And he's just so meticulous. I mean, most people go, yeah, that's good enough. That's not him.
Well, and let me say this: we had an art director, have an art director. His name is Denny Anderson. He is really the one who had made this look like this. It was Brian and I provided all the gear. We wrote all the text, but we worked with Denny on the layout, and he really is the genius behind this.
Continuity, everything is
Yeah,
just,
this was hours and hours and days and months and years. We started at the end of 2018, and literally it came out last week.
Well, you don't do stuff like this for the money, because
No.
if you got paid by the hour, you'd be getting about 10 cents an hour.
I'd be giving money back. Yeah.
Probably. So you need to be looking out for this. If you're a Marshall person, you love Marshall amps, this is so good. And you went to the NAMM show, and I heard they laid out the red carpet for you.
They were unbelievable. They gave us an area where I loaned them 10 cabinets and 5 amplifiers. They set them up. They were on risers. They put velvet ropes around them, and they gave us tables and chairs and said, "Hey, do your thing," because they were so behind this, and they have been incredible.
Well, it's a tribute to a great company, and you really did it.
Thank you.
So very few people would spend the time on anything, to compare to this. So I urge you guys, if you love Marshall stuff, you want this book.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
When do you think they'll be delivered?
Probably spring. Yeah,
Okay.
spring or early summer. It took just to get these printed and have the plates made and all of that. It took like a month, and we just got them in time. So when we do the hardbound cover and the cover's treated and all that, it's probably going to take a couple months to print 1,000 or 1,500.
Well, I think it'll be an annuity, and I think people will be looking at this book, 50 years from now, because it is a definitive book.
Thank you.
And Mike Doyle did a great job on his book as well.
He came by the Marshall booth and gave me his blessings and told me how much he loved it. We've texted several times since then. He's really behind this, and that meant the world to me because he wrote the history of Marshall. And I actually met him in your store.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Michael's an old friend.
Yeah.
So Peter Margolis, Brian Ranks, both these guys are great buddies of mine, and this is a labor of love. So help them recoup most of their money.
Thanks. I'll be happy to break even.
There you go. That's the spirit.
What's the website again?
CollectingLoudHistory.com.
There it is.
All right.
Jen.
Well, Peter Margolis, thanks for coming in. That's an amazing book, and great job.
I
And
appreciate
thank
it.
you for doing it, and I'm sure the Marshall people are stoked.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for watching our videos.